Hi everybody, Dr. Rory Stern of ADHDFamilyOnline.com. And here's a question that I hear an awful lot in my office when I'm meeting with parents. And that is, how do I get my spouse to believe that my child, that someone has ADHD? Now what tends to happen is one spouse, and unfortunately for whatever reason it typically ends up being a husband. So guys, if you're watching this, I'm not targeting you, it's just an example. We're focusing on a spouse, but as an example, ends up typically being the husband who doesn't believe in ADHD. Many times people believe that my child just needs more discipline. I hear that an awful lot from families with some military background. Oh, they just need more discipline. All right, listen, I'm not going to get into that. To answer this question, I'm going to let you know. For everybody out there who wants to know, how do I get my spouse to believe? You don't. You don't try to force them to believe in something they're not going to. Instead, you're going to be focusing on how are you different? How is your child different? What are the types of things that you need that you're not getting? Instead of trying and forcing somebody to believe something that they're not going to be, which, by the way, is an almost impossible task. I want you instead to focus on the tangibles. What do you see? What are the specific things that you can show without shoving it in someone's face of what's going on? So focus on the differences. Focus on the behaviors. If your child doesn't pay attention, point that out. If your child has a tough time with homework, you're pointing that out. Maybe you want to point out that your child is a visual learner or an auditory learner, or they're more hands-on. You want to focus on what you observe, because that's stuff that can't be disputed. But if you try to focus on, our child has ADHD, you have to believe it, people can't see that. And there are strong views and opposing views about whether or not ADD and ADHD are real conditions. We've talked about that. So instead, don't try to change someone's opinion. Don't try to spoon feed them or force them to believe things that they're not going to. Instead, I want you to focus on what are the real behaviors that you're seeing, what are the differences, what are the challenges, and how can we support that person, because that's what it's about. That's what success is all about, and that's how we're going to make a difference in someone's life anyway. Not by trying to force them, taking a square peg and forcing it into a round hole. Not going to happen. Labels aren't going to be effective anyway, I don't think. So focus on what you can see, on what's real, and work from that position. Now, if you're looking for information just like this, visit ADHDessentialskit.com for over 3 hours of audio interviews where we get more in-depth on information just like this that will help you develop a strong foundation of knowledge to support a loved one affected by ADHD. Again, that's ADHDessentialskit.com. Take care, everybody.